Happy Monday. How are we? It is Monday the 22nd, the day that Boris is set to make an announcement. I'm sure everyone will be interested to see what he's saying, especially hairdressers, given the state of this. I could keep going. Round the years now, it's becoming a bit hazardous. So, this is where we're at the moment. Hairdressers, pubs, restaurants, cafes, gyms, private studios like ourselves will be looking at. Not to mention summer holidays. People always kind of looking at maybe when there's a date. Because when there's a date, everyone starts to feel that there's a bit of an end point to this. Morning, Paula. But it got me thinking about a few things, because when you look at these situations when, you're waiting for something. Morning, Jane. You're waiting for something. It takes me back to, you learn so much from kids. They do say they're your biggest teachers, don't they? And they are, because they'll say things like, I can't, quite a lot. They're 2 and 4. I can't do that. I can't do it. And I get it's frustrating, right? When you want to put your trousers on, but your foot's stuck in the other one and you don't realise it. You want to drive the car, but you can't for obvious reasons. I could go on, and what I've tried to do is just add the word yet onto the end of it. So if they say I can't, I'll say I can't yet. Because at the end of the day, if they want to do something, they'll be able to do it, just probably not yet. And if you think about everything in life, that's pretty much true, obviously to an extent. And the other thing I'm trying to encourage is that if they're stuck, rather than practice and get good at getting frustrated, because that's a strategy, right? We get good. If I can't do something, we get sucked into that zone. What if you just flipped it and said, every time you get stuck, you just ask for help? I can't do it yet, I'll ask for help. How much easier we would find things, because we can either practice getting frustrated about not being able to do something, or learn how to behave when things don't go our way. And maybe even accept, this is obviously deep for a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, that things have worked out just quite simply, not to you, but for you, but it just so happens to be different to what you thought was going to happen. You could relate this to lockdowns, you could relate this to the situation now as well. That everything still happened for you, not to you. The reason we're frustrated is it happened differently to how we would imagine 2020, 2021 to be. And the thing is if you really think about it, morning, so we accept that, babies will walk at their own pace, kids will be good at different things at school, and, this might have come to home a bit more in homeschooling as well. And we learn at different rates, but that when it comes to weight loss, and this is where I'm getting at, we have this specific number, like if I haven't lost a stone by next month, then ... I've basically failed. And it's interesting because we have zero control whether that stone will come off or not. We can't control that number. We don't have 100% control over that. But what we do have control over is our actions that could lead to that stone coming off. But there's no guarantee here, because our body shape could change, the way we do it. And remember this, the way we're doing this process could be that we're putting on muscle, and that we won't actually lose the stone because we lost the stone 10 years ago, but we were doing just more dieting, more serious in their lack of maybe more muscle strengthening exercise, which we know has tons of benefits anyway. But we're then not getting that muscle. So as a result of that, our body shape might still be changing. We're still happy the way we are, but actually the scales aren't changing as much. And we're failing to consider that. And sometimes what can happen is we then get frustrated by something we can't control, which means we don't do the things that we can control. I'll say that again. So we get frustrated by the thing we cannot control because it hasn't turned out the way we wanted it to, which means we get frustrated to the extent we don't have the energy or perhaps the motivation to do the things that we can control, and maybe even give up altogether. Like, imagine if I said to my daughters, if you're not crawling by 16 months, you might as well just, what's the point? They were both late walkers actually. But my advice to you here is just to be specific. number one would be to set a specific goal. Like, it can be a weight loss goal and a dress size goal. That's fine, but don't attach life and death feelings to it. Instead, look at, this brings me on to number two, habits that essentially lead to that. So what we do is focus on 3 habits in the areas of food, fitness, and self-care. Have you hit them each day? So for me right now, it's bed by 9:45. I get 12 sets of exercise in a day, not 12 exercise sessions, like 12 sets, whether that's a set of pull-ups here and there, a resistance band up and down, and then anything on top of that is a bonus. I'll also try and get a walk a day, even if it's like 15 minutes, like to the post office or whatever. I will not stop off on the way back in the car from dropping the girls off at nursery and put it in the post box. I'll get out and I'll walk. That's my thing. And the food side of it is just, if I want a snack, I snack on protein, veg, and fruit. That is literally it. I have protein every meal. That is it. And then they're my 3 things. And if I have to focus on them 3 things, if I focus on them, essentially, I don't have to focus on everything. It allows me to take a step back a bit. Now, of course, I've got to this stage by doing many other things, and we're all in different parts of our journey, and this is what I'm getting at as well, in that you might have to do something a bit different. That might not work for everyone, and this is why it's all about making it personal to you, which is what we're doing next week in our Kickstart program with the people who are just starting. We're going to be going over this in a bit more detail, how to make them personal to you, because if it's the MAP plan and you're doing it, well, you might be going, well, this doesn't work for me. And yeah, you might get results in 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks, you'll be going, oh, you know what? What's he telling me to do? We hate being policed. Simple as that. Anyway, and this brings me on the few messages I got yesterday. So Nicola, so today marks my 6-week graduation from the Kickstart program. I've taken photos in my undies, but I will not spare you all. Instead, show you before and after my leggings. I've lost 12 pounds, 4 inches. The change has been gradual and subtle, but I can feel it, and others are beginning to notice. Thank you for the support. It's a great group. Awesome. And then Sandra, absolutely, I am old, so it's in my 70s and feel in my 50s now. I've only been in the program for 5 weeks. There you go. So 5 weeks, you anti-age by 20 years. That's not bad. But my point here is, if you want to achieve something, you can do it. If you want to get fit, you can do it. If you want to get healthy, you can do it. Ask for help if you're struggling to do it, whether that's a friend, family member, nutritionist, dietitian, coach, personal trainer. As the only other option is to carry on doing what you're doing. And if you're happy with that, that's great. If not, just ask this question. It's quite powerful, actually. If you don't get a handle on this, what happens 5 years from now? If you don't get a handle on this, what happens 5 years from now? And the reason I say that is because sometimes we just assume that if we carry on going the way we are, we'll just get the same results. But actually, subtly, things can get worse. So I hope that helps. Any questions, as always, let me know. We are off for our Box and Bums morning workout now, so I best get ready and get some charge on this laptop. Otherwise, I'll fail mid-session. And I need to get the angle on the camera right as my perfectionist, all-or-nothing mindset, which I preach not to have. I demonstrate with the camera angle. I think it's because there's a shelf over there. So I think if the shelf's a bit like that, it just puts me off. Anyway, it's not about being perfect. It's not about all or nothing. Because in the end, I get so frustrated that I think, let's just do it. Let's just go and do it. Even if it's 1 millimetre out. I won't get my compass out either. Anyway, that's enough from me. Rambling on. I best get on. Speak soon. Have a great day. Any questions about our Kickstart program or anything in general, just ask. And yes, I am planning on getting a haircut as soon as we can. So, speak soon.